Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, my lovely students. Today, inshallah, I will teach you Super Goal 6 for the third intermediate grade in the second semester. So, I want all of you to open your book on page 10. Today, inshallah, we will take a writing. Exercise A. Read about a coincidence, number the paragraphs and sentences in the correct order. So we have here, as you can see, 6 paragraphs. So we will read them, then we will order them in the correct order. So look what do we have. One afternoon, I was walking around the campus looking for a place to eat lunch when suddenly I heard someone call my name. I turned around. You are Sean, aren't you? Said familiar voice. There, 3 of us went for lunch that afternoon, and Mike and I did a lot of catching up. Since then, I hang out with him and Lee almost every day. I arrived here in Chicago 2 months ago as an exchange student during my first week at the college. Even everything was still a bit confusing. I felt lonely most of the time. Sure, I had met a few students in my classes, but I hadn't made any friends yet. Mike, what are you doing here in Chicago? It took me a second to realize who it was. To my surprise, it was my cousin Mike. I hadn't seen him in 5 years old because his family had moved to the US. He was with Lee, a student in one of my classes. Well, I live in Chicago and I am studying economics here at the college. When Lee told me there was an Irish student in one of the classes, I had no idea it was you. What a small world. Okay, now we will write the correct, or we will order them. So this will be, of course, number 1, as you can see here. I arrived here in Chicago. Very good. Then this will be number 2. And here will be number 3. It took me a second to realize. And here will be number 4, of course, and 5, and the last one here, it will be number 6. Then look what do we have here, right in corner. Today, inshallah, also we will learn how to use these tenses. Number 1, use simple. We have here simple past. Use simple past to talk about completed past events. As you can see, suddenly I heard someone call my name. I turned around. Okay, look what do we have here. In the simple past, we have ed, some verbs. We just add ed, and some verb it is irregular, so we have to change it. For example, go, it will be went. Okay, so on page 82, as you can see here, and some verb we just add ed. For example, turned, and some it will change as here I heard. So when can I use the simple past? I use the simple past if I want to talk about completed past events. Okay, it's like an event that is completed in the past. Number 2, use the past progressive was and were plus verb ing to talk about actions that were in progress when another past event happened. So look what do we have here. When can I use past progressive? I use past progressive when I want to talk about actions that takes a lot of time, and during that actions there is another action that happened at the same time. For example, here I was walking. Look, here was plus ing. I was walking around the campus when suddenly I heard someone call my name. Okay, we have here 2 actions. The third one, use the past perfect had plus past participle to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past. So then we have here the past perfect. As you can see, we are first of all we have to add had. Then after that, the past participle of the verb. You can take a look on page 82 to memorize or to see some past participle of some verbs. As you can see, look here, I hadn't seen. So seen, it is the past participle of the verb see. So I hadn't seen him in 5 years because, look here, 2 actions. Look here, Look here, talk about action that happened before another action. Look here, this is the first action happened before the second one. So, I hadn't seen him in 5 years because his family had moved to the United States, okay? You will practice the past progressive in Unit 3, in the past perfect in Unit 6, inshallah. So, see a list of irregular verbs and the past participle on page 82. So, as you can see, or as you see, you can practice the past participle, or you can memorize some of the past participle on page 82. Then let's now move to the second page here. Okay, look what do we have here, my lovely students. Then we will take inshallah form, meaning and function. Today inshallah we will learn how to make suggestions. Okay, suggestions. So use should and shouldn't. So if you want to make suggestions, as you can see, use should or shouldn't to ask for or give suggestions. Okay, look here. What should we do tonight? So for ask or give suggestions. Look here, I don't know, but we shouldn't stay home. Should I buy this racing bike? No, you should buy the mountain bike. Number 2, use can or could to give possible suggestions. So suggestions that you can do it simply. For example, here number 1, what should I cook for dinner? You could cook spaghetti. Or look here, let's go to the park this afternoon. That is a good idea. We can have a picnic. Number 2, look here, not. We have here not. Can and can't are also used for ability. So if you can do something, you can use can. For example, you can say I can cook or I can swim. Look here, can you go out tonight? Sorry, I can't. I have to study. Number 3, use why don't and let's to give suggestions. Look here, why don't we order a pizza? No, let's eat out instead. Let's go to the park. Okay, why don't we talk our parks and so on. Look here, what do we have to accept the suggestions? So if you want to say yes, you can say okay, that is a good idea. Sure, all right, that sounds good. And if you want to review it, if you want to say no, you can say sorry, I can't. Let's then you put here your opinion or your idea or your suggestions. Then you will say instead. Look what do we have here. Fill in each blank with a suitable word. Then practice a conversation with a partner. So we have here a conversation between Fahad and Imad. Let's read them and complete it with the suitable words. Look what do we have here. Let's go out. Looks. We have here let's. Why? Because we give suggestions. Let's go get some pizza and hang out by the beach. Sorry, I can't. Look here, we use here can't because it's ability. I can't. I have to clean my room and start baking for college. That is right. You are leaving next week, aren't you? Why don't look? We have here don't, so we will say why. Why don't you let me help you? Well, then, well, can or could. So we will use can or could to give possible suggestions. Okay. Can or could go out later. Thanks, that sounds good. Look here. If you want to accept the suggestions, you can say that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. What can or should I do with all my stuff? I can't take it with me because my room at college is really small. Well, you can or should or could. You can use one of these. I leave it here at your parents' house. No, I can't. My parents want to give my room to my brother, so I have to move all my things out. Then why don't? Look, we have a why, so we will say don't. Okay, why? Don't you have a garage sale? That's a good idea. Look here. That is a good idea. I can or should or could get rid of some old thing that I don't use it anymore. And you can or could make a bit money too. True, I can or could use. You can use both of them. Use the money to you buy books. What day should I have it? Look here, we use should because we give suggestions and we ask also. Why don't you have it on Saturday? Alright, let's start by putting aside the things I don't want. Pass me the scatterpod and those bunkers. No, you can't or shouldn't sell those. You should keep them. Do you want them? Why don't you come to my garage on Saturday? Okay, my lovely students, actually, we are done.